What is up, boys? Today is going to be an FD day. Called the engine builder about the 3000 GT. Something in this universe just doesn't want that thing to be built. It's like a curse on that engine or something, because the machine shop guy is in the hospital. I don't know, he's supposed to be back this week. So it wasn't for the Rona, it was something else. So he hasn't gotten that done yet. But we're gonna go over FDs today. Adrian's actually bringing over the 93. I've been kind of storing it at his house because I don't really have room. And I let his son drive it because I don't drive it, and that thing needs to be driven. It's a brand new engine, needs to get some miles put on it. This is the 95. I don't really know what all to say about it. I just gotta go over everything with it. Something's wrong, like electrical, because this used to be an automatic car. Supposedly there's a wire harness that's built into the automatic transmission, I guess. Really don't understand. That controls the fans to turn them on and off. But now since it's a manual, the fans sometimes just won't turn on, sometimes they just won't turn off. So I guess they wired in a switch. It's right here. They just wired this in through the door and it turns the fan on right here. So if the fan doesn't turn on, you just hit that and that turns the fan on. I haven't driven this car really, but that's what he was explaining to me. But I have to disconnect the battery because I've charged it a few times. When the battery's hooked up, there's a bunch of stuff running. These relays, these are the fan relays. This one stays running, this one stays running, and you hear something running underneath the intake. Like the throttle position sensor or something, you just hear something clicking the whole time underneath the intake. Like I can hook it up actually right now so you guys can hear it. You see that? It's coming under there. I don't know what's going on with it. There's definitely an electrical problem, but we'll get it all figured out. And I went to check the oil in it and the dipsticks broke off, so Adrian's got to bring the other FD over just so I can check the oil in it. It's missing a quarter of the dipstick, and I'm scared to drive it because if it's down in there. Plus this thing was just rebuilt too, it needs an oil change. So hopefully I can drain it, put a magnet in the drain plug hole and pull the end of the dipstick out of there, because I don't know where that's at. And I gotta flush the radiator because this is just a rusty mess. I guess there was a bad coolant seal, but it's just, you guys see that? Is that showing up on camera? I don't know, if someone along the lines put like that head gasket copper seal or whatever, but like it's just a bunch of like almost rust, but it's not. It's like glue. I don't know what it is. I gotta flush the radiator before I go driving this thing. Make sure the radiator is completely cleaned with a hose. Clean the water pump and everything out. This overflow, like look at that. I don't know what this brown stuff is. But yeah, oh, and the 93 is coming because after driving this, when Chris brought it back to me, I just drove it right up the street real quick. The second turbo on the 93 is not working, and I've been looking into that because there was a boost leak. One of the boots were ripped, and it was only making like 3 pounds of boost. I wasn't worried about it because Adrian's son was driving it. I'm like, whatever, just keep the boost low. And then Adrian found that one of the couplers, I believe it was this coupler right here, had a hole in it, so he put another coupler on there, and now it's making 12, but it's only making it on the first turbo. So like it'll make boost up at like 2,000 RPMs, but after like 4 grand, there's nothing left. You drive this car at 4 grand, the second turbo kicks in, it throws you in your seat. It doesn't do that in the 93. So, and I didn't know that because these are my first 2 FDs. So, but yeah, that's where we're at today. I really can't do anything on the 3000 GT. I'm just as disappointed as all you guys are. Oh man, look who decided to show up. Must be nice, just do whatever you want all day. So the fans are running because he just got done beating the crap out of it because it's not his car.
I was told to.
I did just a little bit of research. I kind of explained it to you guys. This thing will make boost, but only up to like 3 grand. When I first drove that car at 4,000 RPMs, it kicks in the second turbo and it throws you in your seat. This doesn't do that. These are known to have problems with the twin turbo setup, and the second turbo stops working. If the turbo is bad, you'll always have an oil leak. This does not leak any oil, not a drop anywhere. And then the second thing is that I guess there's boost solenoids underneath the intake plenum, mess of vacuum lines, but I was told when I got the car all that was deleted. So I'm sitting here just trying to find, you know, these are blow off, this is blow off, EGR's deleted on this car, everything was supposed to be deleted. Let's start it up and see if I hear a vacuum leak. Maybe there's a little baby hiss. See, dude, there's like a spider web of vacuum lines on these cars. You see, they're all looped, but one of those could have cracked. You know what I mean? Is they just like put those little rubber nibbles on them, and they always end up cracking. I don't know what this box does, which is halfway off on this car anyways. Well, that goes nowhere, so there's a problem. So it probably goes to the turbo, right? I bet you that's where that goes. Let's see where it goes over here. I don't know how well you guys can see. I gotta get these in the shop. Let's see if this 95 starts. This still gotta cool down, but this just was in there loose. I'm pretty sure that probably goes to the turbo. Okay, got the throttle cable out of the way. It's really easy. Then this just picks up out of the way. I don't know where this is supposed to go. You see how this side air goes in, so it's technically a vacuum leak, and it plugs in right there, but then everything over here is capped. You know, you hear the horror stories about these. I've never had the intakes off of these. Can you guys see? There's just a spaghetti nightmare mess down there. And then here's an open line right here that goes to the turbo. We found it right there. You guys see that line moving? That goes right to this turbo, right to the side of it. It's supposed to plug in right there. It's the perfect length even. We found the second turbo problem. Hooray, we didn't even have to take the intake off. I'm almost positive once I plug that in, I'm gonna hook the throttle cable back up and take this out for a rip. It's too hot to freaking force the vacuum line on. All right, I'll bring you guys back. It'll be a second year word. I gotta give this thing like a half hour to cool down. I got a cap down there that's dry rotted. There's a crack right in it. And this one just fell off. See how dry rotted that is? That's what I was talking about earlier. So I can replace those. I kinda need to pull the intake off to get to that bottom one. See, the problem is that someone else built this. The guy I bought it from had Divine build it, so now I don't know what's going on, or like what all they deleted. Let me get some caps. See, I don't know how much you guys are able to see. I should just take this intake off. So you see that white, let me flip you guys back over. You see that white cap right there? That's where that one cap just came off of. Right below it, there's a black 90-degree that has the dry rotted cap on there too. I gotta get off and plug. Every time I push on it, the line just moves. You know what would have been really smart of whoever built this? Because you know these are gonna go bad. These little caps, they're gonna go bad, especially in the middle of an engine where it's hot. If they would have just extended those lines to like right here, and you could just swap these out, you know, every 5 years, that would have been a smart thing to do. Let me see if I can get a cap on there. I'll bring you back. I can't hold the camera and do it. There's no point in me throwing you on top of my head. You guys won't be able to see. Right there. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I'm going to order a gasket kit for this. Eventually take this all off and redo all these vacuum lines, because that's gonna drive me nuts. But now that I got that, I can run a new vacuum line from that nipple right there up to that box, and let's see if this thing makes boost. It's hot. The exhaust and this water housing is hot. What a surprise. I'm not even putting the bolt back in right now. Just gonna take it up the road. Nope, it's still not working. It definitely doesn't pull like the other one. At the 95, as soon as you hit 4 grand, the thing just slams you back in your seat. And that's all stock. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, maybe this, because it's tuned, they just have boost coming in at a different RPM. Now it's too hard to get into work on. It'll be a second year world. I'm gonna come back out here tomorrow and rip this all apart. Back out here, I looked into it a little bit. If one of the solenoids are bad, which is a possibility, I don't know how to test it. So like, I was thinking that you can just swap them, because you got 2 solenoids sitting right here next to each other, and I was like, I'll just swap them. And if the second turbo works, then I know it's a bad solenoid. But from what I read, everyone's like, yeah, never do that, because if you have the second turbo come on first, it'll literally just eat the front turbo, or the first turbo. I don't know which order they go in, honestly. So I can't do that. I think I'm just gonna start taking this all apart, replace all these vacuum lines, clean it up, which it looks like it's already all cleaned up, but a lot of them look brittle and stuff like that. Put it all back together, see if that works. And then I guess worst case scenario, I can take the solenoids from the 95 and put them over here and see if they work. I didn't get like a straight answer on which one of these solenoids do what. You guys can't see right now because I got the whole thing still together, but I know this works. I tested this out not that long ago, the boost sensor, because when you unplug it, your car runs like complete dog shit. This is definitely still working. It's gotta be vacuum lines. I might just single turbo this thing. I probably won't even go that big, you know what I mean? I might do like a 25-30 or something. Leave it down in the comments what you guys think. If you know what you're doing with these, I understand how rotary works. I was obsessed with rotaries for the longest time. I don't know how the twin turbos work on the stock one, to be honest with you. I didn't really like get into that deep. But see, the other thing that this could be too is that this has the power FC in it. So this has the standalone FC commander and stuff in it that you can change boost and everything. And Adrian said that he was messing around with that, turned the boost up on it. He might have turned the boost up only on one turbo. So I also got to look into that. I don't know, let me get this back to where it was yesterday. I got to get the throttle cable out of the way, this out of the way. And now that's all cool, and I can touch everything, I can get to that other little nipple that needs to be replaced. This is going to drive me nuts. See, I just took this off, and then that line fell off. So if this fell off yesterday while I was driving, I just now noticed it, that might be the problem still. Everything I did yesterday might have been pointless. And there's just caps on everything that are all dry rotted to hell. This one's done. I can put my finger through it. So here's the solenoids right there. Again, I'm not even 100% sure that's them. This is just such a rat's nest. There's so many caps, so many vacuum lines. Dude, I think the best thing is going to be to do is just get the just get this intake out of the way. Alright, I'm going to take this bar off and this charge pipe out of my way. Okay. Got it all apart. Can work in here a little bit better. This vacuum line has just got a bolt in it. That's wrong. Take this off, put a nice cap on there. And those vacuum lines look all good. I mean, I guess that whole thing could not be working. See, those vacuum lines just go right. Dude, I like gotta study up on this and see exactly how these turbos are supposed to work. Because all of them just go right to that vacuum, right to the intake. So not only are they getting vacuum, they're also getting boost. So I don't know if that's right, because there's no check valves on any of those. Quite a few of these have zip ties on them. So I would take it those ones are boost. But again, like I said, as soon as I took this apart, I noticed this came off. I could have just pulled that off as I was moving it out of the way, or this could have fell off yesterday once I put it back together, and I never actually fixed anything yesterday. But see, that box just goes right there. So I don't know where this goes, it's that second line, or how this would control. Why do I need this box is the real question. Can I just run this line right to that with a check valve in it? But see, they got a check valve in there, so there's no way that this is measuring boost. Oh no, it is. That's only measuring boost, because it's only blowing, it's not sucking. So this line only measures boost, so this is probably still the problem. Because if it measures boost from there, and it looks like it comes through that box into this line, goes through that, into that box, then that line goes into that box. Then if you follow that metal line down there, comes over and underneath this boost solenoid. Dude, I can't tell where it goes without taking this intake off. I really don't want to take the intake off. You know who I need? I need Rob Dahm. I need Rob Dahm to just come over one day and hang out. I guess I'm just gonna take it apart. I've had this off a bunch. Just 4 bolts, one there, 2 at the bottom. This vacuum line, get this up out of the way. Okay, I got the throttle body off. It was a nightmare. I didn't record it. Probably gonna be impossible for me to find gaskets for this thing. I've been looking all morning. So it's definitely not going back together today because I don't have any gaskets, but now I gotta get this whole plenum off, which it's going to be hard to remember where every vacuum line goes. I kind of just been sitting on exactly where I took them from. But over here, you got 4, and I doubt that it matters which order they go in. It's just vacuum, right? There's probably 3 more that are underneath this intake runners, plenum, whatever you want to call it. But I don't really see any problem with any lines over here. A little bit of oil, but nothing like I'd be worried about. So I'm going to take this off now. Probably not going to record it. I'll just explain it. You're going to have this vacuum line, all these vacuum lines, and then these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. If you got your little stabilizer, most people don't. You got to take this off, which you shouldn't have to. And then you got ground. You got ground right there. Playing it by year. I don't know how many vacuum lines are under it. I'm leaving the bottom half together. So all these vacuum lines down here can stay, but these gotta come off, which that's just blow off. This is boost gauge, I'm almost positive. This strut's gotta come off in these bolts. I'll bring you right back. All right, I think I got everything. Oh my God, dude, there's so many sensors up top too. All these wires gotta be unplugged. Oh my God, dude, this is a nightmare. The people that like complain about this, they're not joking. There's just stuff everywhere. This is a rat's nest. Dude, a lot of these plugs look exactly the same. Orange goes there, yellow goes on this blue. I got this white one over here. This is a can of worms that I shouldn't have opened. Look at this, dude, just vacuum lines everywhere. What does this do? Dude, I'm gonna have to look all this up because I gotta understand how all this works. This goes to the intake before the throttle body. Oh, this is probably for like the choke or something. Maybe. Because there's like almost like a choke built into this. I'm back out here. Really couldn't use any of that footage from yesterday after I took the intake off. It was just nothing but cuss words and me saying I'm gonna LS swap this. And so I just went inside yesterday after I took the intake off. Just did a bunch of research. This is like ridiculous. Like I'm gonna throw up some schematics right now. Like I think there's one right here. Like look at that. Just vacuum lines everywhere. I thought this was all like deleted. Some things are deleted, but like I still have to like keep reading up on it. There's like no videos on how to do it that I could find. If you can find one, tell me and I'll go watch it. There's like 4 different ways to do it. You know, there's the stock setup, a simplified sequential turbo setup. Then there's a non-sequential twin turbo where you like delete some vacuum lines and bypass some stuff so the turbos just work at the same time, which just gives you a bunch of lag and not really much more power, but it makes it simpler. But you gotta take the exhaust manifold off and like weld open the flap, and it's just, I don't know if they did that. I gotta jack it up and look under it. I honestly, this is like way overwhelming. Like I'm gonna figure it out. I didn't expect it to be this crazy. I really, look, I will pay, if you guys have made it this far in the video, which I doubt anyone has, send this to Rob Dahm. I will pay for 2 plane tickets. You and your boy can come in a hotel room for a weekend. Come here and help me clean up this rat's nest. I'll pay for your food and everything while you're here. That's the easiest way. I should probably just put a single turbo on it. From what I was looking into last night, that's going to be the easiest thing to do. Just put a single turbo on it, bypass all this stuff, put a regular boost controller on it, like a manual boost controller, and run it. But then I have to like look into this Power FC. I don't know, let me jack it up real quick before I end this video and we can see. If they welded the exhaust manifold open, then I kind of understand what I have to do. It's supposed to be both turbos running at the same time. So it was not turned to non-sequential because it still has this actuator. All these vacuum lines are hooked up. That thing's still hooked up, not welded shut. I mean, that might not be working. This thing just runs on vacuum. This thing right here runs on vacuum, opens that up on the exhaust manifold and puts air into the second turbo. How it's supposed to work. I kind of need to put it all back together and then put a camera under here and see if that works. I don't know how else to test it. If you know, leave it down in the comments. It could be a handful of problems. I could fix all these vacuum lines, and if that actuator down at the bottom isn't working for some reason, if a boost solenoid isn't working for some reason, I just did all this work for nothing. Like, is this a solenoid? Are these solenoids? I think there's 4 solenoids. But then what are all these down here? This is almost like a solenoid. All right, boys, that's gonna be the end of this one. Kind of ending it with a bummer. See ya.